I heard it through the study door. My wife's father, voice smooth as a receipt printer. Your husband? He doesn't deserve a dime. He's out of the company. Milk, eggs, bread. Destroy son-in-law. Check, check, check. I stood in the hallway of the mansion my work helped pay for, staring at my own reflection in the antique mirror. Same face as always, only sharper. I smiled, turned, and kept walking, right to my office. If they were burying me, I'd pick the cemetery. That night I moved everything I could reach. Offshore cushions I'd built the day the Whitmans started treating me like furniture, shells, vaults, clean portfolios on 3 continents. They thought I was too nice to notice the knife. They forgot I grew up where noticing kept you alive. The signs I ignored. The board dinner, my nameplate gone, my seat misplaced. My wife, Claire, sat beside her father, laughing like I was a temp who'd wandered in. The company photos, me, cropped out so crudely a sliver of my navy jacket, still clung to the edge. Isn't that your shoulder? A friend asked. Used to be, I said. The gossip. Claire's book club shark circling a champagne fountain. He's not built for leadership. The problem's going to solve itself. I went home and looked at my wife, really looked. The angelic glow of a phone screen can make anyone look holy. Saints don't sign transfer papers. The envelope. Morning. I walked into the Whitman morning room with coffee and a manila folder thick enough to stop a bullet. Richard, patriarch, king, thief, barely glanced up. We're in the middle of something. Me too, I said, and dropped. The folder between the croissants. Bank statements, wire logs, invoices for consulting that never existed. Cayman transfers routed through shell companies with names Richard thought made him clever. Claire finally looked up from her phone. Susan's teaspoon froze mid-stir. Richard's face drained by degrees. Where did you get these? Does it matter? I told them what they'd forgotten about underestimating a man. You stop watching him. He records things. He notices doors left an inch open. Enjoy breakfast, I said. I have calls to make. The boardroom. By afternoon, I was on the 38th floor, mahogany table, leather chairs, city view that screamed, "We own this place." I set down legal documents my attorneys had prepped before sunrise. As of last week, I said, dealing out copies, I control 52% of the voting shares. Silence. Glasses slipped. Coffee choked. The trust Richard created, 15 years ago, his tax toy had matured. He'd forgotten his own loophole. That's when he burst in, red and rumpled. Security! I slid the second stack across the table. Gambling debts as client development, shells, emails. His mouth opened, closed. I took the chair with chairman in gold and adjusted the height. Now, I said, let's discuss the future. The dig at dawn the next day, my forensic dream team arrived. Maya, a bloodhound for money. Leo, a ghost in every machine. Maya's report mapped 12 years of theft. 8.7 million traced cleanly, more buried deep. Shells stacked like nesting dolls, signatures where they shouldn't be. Your wife, Maya said softly, is co-signatory on 6 accounts. And there's a Cayman company, CW Enterprises, created in her name. The floor tilted. Then Leo, rolled in racks of drives. Recovered 3,000 deleted emails, he said. The crown jewel, transition planning. Dad, can we do this cleanly? I don't want blowback on the offshore accounts. He doesn't have the brains or the balls, Richard replied. By the time he figures it out, it'll be too late. Keep digging, I told Leo. Then I called my lawyer. File it all, civil and criminal. Roses and knives, Richard summoned me to his private country club garden. Power move, sun at his. Back, Claire in white, playing angel. We can work this out, she said. It got ugly, I said, when you signed your name on stolen money. He tried the speech. Legacy, hard decisions, greater good. I told him control isn't leadership and theft isn't strategy. Here's what happens next, I said, holding up my phone. I walk away, I file everything. And the truth gets A megaphone. Claire's eyes flickered. Regret, or the memory of an easier lie. Didn't matter. I left them standing among the roses like ghosts. Federal courtrooms make even the innocent feel small. I wasn't there to feel small. The prosecutor walked the judge through the trail. Banks, shells, fake contracts, the recordings. Then he played that email. Richard's confidence died in surround sound. The defense tried character assassination. Claire cried on cue. Then came the rebuttal. Erasing someone isn't protection, I said. And $8.7 million isn't stability. It's theft. Judge Mendez needed 47 minutes. I counted them. Verdict. My control of the company confirmed. Criminal referrals for Richard and Claire, fraud, laundering, tax evasion. Susan barred from any fiduciary role. Offshore assets frozen. Restitution. Ordered $8.7 million plus interest and penalties. The gavel cracked like a rifle shot. Handcuffs flashed. Reporters sprinted. I walked out into thunder and felt, finally, air. Rebuild back at Whitman Global. The lobby looked the same. The eyes didn't. Relief. Hope. I hired a compliance bulldog, Elias, launched an anonymous hotline, reviewed every vendor and contract. The honest firms cheered, the fake ones swore. We cut rot, promoted spine, and posted the rules on walls where shadows used to be. Week by week, the culture bent back toward true. People started reporting problems before they metastasized. Departments asked for ethics training. Profit margins ticked up. Turns out, Linda from finance said, when you stop paying ghosts, you keep more cash. The lake. Months later, I sat at the lake house Richard swore I'd never keep. The water was glass. The yacht berth was empty. I opened. The journal where I'd logged the year, the night in the hallway, the envelopes, the roses, the gavel, the audits, the hires. They tried to bury me, I said to the quiet. They handed me the shovel. I didn't dig a grave. I built a foundation. I locked the door on my way out, not to shut anything out, but to mark the line between what collapsed and what endures. Their story ended with handcuffs and frozen accounts. Mine began with something rarer in rooms like theirs. The truth, and the nerve to use it.